What is going on today, ladies and gentlemen? We are live Saturday, March 31st, last day of March. Weekend rewind number 10. Pretty nice day here in Prince Edward Island, nice and sunny, not too windy. A great Holy Saturday, I guess, for all of our Catholic peeps in the chat. We got a full panel today, and you guys might have noticed last week where we had 3 Atomic Nation members, 1 Time Apocalypse, and 1 Alpha Club. Well, now let's kind of reverse. We have 3 people from the Apocalypse group, but then we also have 1 person from Accommodation, that being myself, and of course our 1 Alpha Alliance member. So I'm going to go run through the panel today. As always, we have of course from Canada, the great province of Ontario. That is Sicario Sean Sandberg. Sean, how are we doing, man?
I'm doing exceptional now that I'm hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get this thing going.
Did you shave? I feel like you shaved.
Yeah, I might have shaved. Yeah, it's.
Oh my God, Brooklyn! You look a little bit like Sean if you melted.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Okay, yeah.
I'm not touching that with a fucking 20-foot pole, but all right.
I mean, I've been called worse. I don't
True
care.
enough.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. I got to introduce one of the contenders for the Jukebox Trivia Championship. They are the Butcher, Luca, Hope, Foul, and Madden. Luca, how we doing, man?
Yeah, I'm just getting tired of winning mostly. I think that's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. Besides that, I'm doing good. Can't be here for the whole show, but I'm going to enjoy it while I'm here, and hopefully when I get to this theater thing, I'm going to be drunk as fuck.
All right, well that's good to hear. Joining us today as well, I believe he's actually making his debut on the Rewind. Joining us from down under at what I assume to be a very early time. This, of course, the Maestro, Jake Marignoni. Jake, how we doing, man?
We're doing good. Luca's tired of winning. I'm just tired in general. It's 3 in the morning. It's the first day of April, so that's something. April Fool's Day, I guess. But no, I'm happy to be here. This is my first time, and I'm just happy to talk. And yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. And last, but certainly not least, we will be talking about him pretty gosh darn soon. That is, of course, the Canadian Nightmare, Mark Borick. Mark, how are you doing, man?
It's been a long time, but I'm back on the Rewind. And yes, to all my adoring fans, you are respected.
The one that is watching, I do welcome you here. I'm sorry that you have to admit these kind of things, but just get it out, admit that you're a fan, and then we'll just move on. So with that being said, guys, let's for those of you who are new to the show, how we cover things here is we just go through all of the matches and shows that we did in Jack of all Trivia this week. We got quite a bit, considering last week that there were 6 things to cover in total. That's Jack of all Trivia and Schmodown. We have 8 things to cover in Jack of all Trivia alone before we even get into the Schmodown stuff. So let's kick off things right away. We got to start off with a banger here. The TV Trivia Championship match, what seemed to be months of work and months of matches, finally came to an end, where my guy, Mark Borick, the guy who I had actually winning the entire thing before the tournament even started, he lost in a heartbreaker to the Titan Chance Ellison, that bastard who now has 2 belts around his shoulders. This is a really close match. At the end of there, Mark got really close to making a comeback, but Chance using that strategy of saving his last repeat for a show that he needed to pull out the win. I got to go to Mark first. Mark, now that you've had time to kind of sit and ponder about the match itself, anything else that you change, and yeah, just overall thoughts.
Well, without a doubt, I changed the amount of points I bet in round 3. That was the biggest game changer for me, at least. That was such a tough question, but like I said, I give props to Tim for everything that he's done with the TV division and all the questions and all that. Mad respects for that. But Chance was a hell of a competitor, without a doubt. I knew it was going to be tough, and it was.
Absolutely. Jake, you are an Alpha Alliance member as well. I'm sure Chance had been prepping and studying for that championship for a little while. How do you feel about your faction members' performance, and where does this go from here?
I was pretty happy with the turn of the match. Of course, now the Alpha Alliance has 2 belts, so that credibility has gone up for us. I think we're now the most dominant faction of the factions that are in this. I know there's the Apocalypse and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, we're looking for the other belts. It's a simple game of just getting all the belts. But yeah, no, Chance has been looking at this for a long time, and he's our alpha dog, and we're so happy for him. And yeah, there's a couple more that we're looking at, and I don't know who could go up against Chance. There's a bunch of competitors who are new and who are looking after to get him, and I'm just happy that we got another belt in our faction. So yeah.
All right, so that's actually a really good segue. I'm going to go to Sean here next. Sean, you've been part of this league for a little while. You're familiar with some of the personalities that we have, what their strengths and what their weaknesses are. If you were to give an opponent 4 chance, who's your first guy to go to in terms of a contender?
That's like the easiest question for me ever. It's Grant Gregory. Grant,
okay, Andre.
Grant's coming after that belt, and here's the thing. The scariest thing about Grant for me, personally, is if you think he's good at movies and if you think he's good at comic book trivia, he's better at TV.
Yeah? Okay.
He is better at TV. He's coming after that shit.
Yeah, for sure. My guess first, I actually would love to see Sandy. I know he unfortunately couldn't play in the tournament due to some unfortunate circumstances, but I think he will be a great contender, like especially when he has that sort of classics knowledge. In terms of that, and I think he's familiar. I think he's familiar just enough with the newer stuff where he can hold his own. Luca, you're familiar with Chance, and I'm sure that after playing him and watching his matches multiple times, you have been able to see weaknesses and strengths. After analyzing that match, what do you think is his next thing to kind of study on so that he can really secure maybe a next win for his inevitable next championship match?
Sure. I mean, the thing about Chance is that, like, I've actually never played him before. I'm going to be playing him in Worldwide Movie Games in the team tournament. But provided, that all goes well. But the thing about Chance is that Chance makes winning seem so effortless at times. I kind of hate the guy, like as a competitor, because he just makes it look so fucking easy all the time. But one thing that I did notice from a TV context is that the dude needs to get better at his contemporary UK stuff, which is becoming quite big over in the US. Things like your Doctor Who's, your Downton Abbeys, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I'm the British guy. I'm gonna talk about the UK stuff, but I think that's a hole that he's gonna need to fill. Besides that, man, I've seen Chance do a lot of things, and I've seen Chance, get a lot of matches won, and he just makes it look really easy.
Yeah, for sure.
He's kind of a Luca Fallon Madden in that sense. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I could see that. A man of many coats, as to give him a little phrase there. But yeah, I think I agree. You see those shows, even shows that are just based off of UK TV that come over here and get Americanized. A lot of those will be coming up, and then of course, like you said, Downton Abbey, Doctor Who. I would even I really think that in the TV division, I would hope that maybe a reality TV kind of category comes in. I think that's a big enough brand. I think that's a big enough brand that you could expand. But then, of course, that is TM's choosing. If he wants to bring it in, I think it'd be awesome. But if he doesn't, I understand.
That is being worked on, and that is going to happen really soon.
Yeah. I think that the concern with TV is that especially for me personally, being a Brit, being from overseas, and I think Jake might have this kind of opinion too, is that it's very specified. And if you're not able to make HBO shows and stuff like that, CBS stuff, you are just inherently at a disadvantage because of where you're from.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that it's a little bit of an Americanized type thing, which is why I would never, ever, 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 ever touch TV. The only thing I would touch less than that is wrestling. But it's just one of those things.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that covers that TV Sundays, and now we go.
For Jake, I will be throwing in some questions about Australian Survivor for you. I watched that.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I like that diversity. Yeah. But you're gonna get more Australian TV like Neighbours or Home and Away. I think I'd like more of that.
Neighbours and Home and Away, by the way, massive in the UK, huge.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow. I should know they're doing the biggest shows in Australia.
As long as they don't write questions about that goddamn Coronation Street, I'm content. I think that's just one of the worst shows.
You know what the Barlow family?
No, that theme song. Speaking of theme songs, though, we have to go into this week's Jukebox playlist, kind of a collision with TV, where we covered the top 10 TV themes. That was myself, Luca, who's on the panel today, Sandy, Graham, he made his debut, just kind of popping in there, and then it was supposed to be Tim, but unfortunately, he had some internet and some scheduling stuff, so he couldn't join us. So we got Chance, our champion, at the very last minute to cover some stuff. So just a recap,
as your brother was there.
Yeah,
Jim was
for
there
sure.
for a little bit.
Oh yeah, Jim was there. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, I just want to run over the quick list for everybody who didn't watch. So we had, going from 12 to number 1, we had Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, Dukes of Hazzard, Flintstones, Firefly, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Sesame Street, Twin Peaks, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Star Trek: The Next Generation, The Simpsons, which should be the number 1, and then The Twilight Zone. I mean, agree to disagree. And The Twilight Zone is at number 1. I'm not mad at The Twilight. Like, I think Simpsons and Twilight Zone could easily be interchangeable depending on who you ask. But I understand why Twilight Zone is number 1.
You guys didn't even do the best Danny Elfman thing.
Yeah. All right. So the question I have for you guys, just a quick little one. Out of those choices that you heard, what would you replace, and what would you replace it with, and why? Sean, since you have your guitar out, I want to go to you first.
Yeah, I wonder what his
now play the vastly superior Batman the Animated Series thing, please. Thanks.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, don't fucking play with me, dude.
This just in, Sean knows music.
Batman the Animated Series is hands down my favorite TV theme of all time.
Yeah. What do you replace it with?
What do I replace it with?
Yeah.
What do you replace with it?
Yeah, with
it's a tough one to say. I mean, I think you guys had a pretty good list overall.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch all of it. I was a little bit busy that night. But overall, I think you guys had a pretty good list. Simpsons, being as high as it is, I actually completely understand. It's one of the implementations of Lydian mode that I think is or Lydian dominant rather. That's one of the best sort of weird TV intros. Like, to be able to make that work and to be able to make it so palatable to a listener is absolutely phenomenal. So
is that a music term that not a lot of people are gonna get?
That is a music term not a lot of people are gonna get.
Like I kind of understand what he means, but like it's essentially what he's talking about is when you go from like C to F sharp, similar to how they do in YYZ. I believe that's called, like, it's a devil something, isn't it, Sean?
In Musica El Diablo, what's the Latin term for it?
It's the devil's tritone or something.
It's the diminished fifth.
You
It's the tritone.
Wait, hold on. The first thing you bring up is YYZ Bar. You're so Canadian. It's the Black Sabbath note. For fuck's sake.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is. It is also very Black Sabbath. Also, it's heavily implemented within Ace of Spades throughout, like the main riff of that. But basically,
a whole bunch of Bach.
Yeah, a ton of Bach, and the most brilliant. Sorry, I'm gonna go on a music rant. Basically, Bach, the most genius thing about him was he implemented it in so many different ways where the church wouldn't be able to figure it out. That was the coolest thing about Bach.
Didn't he use like the tritone on the octave? That shit is whew.
Oh yeah,
that's heavy.
Oh fuck yeah.
All right, so let's go over to Mark. I think for you, there's definitely a very notable omission that you wanted to add on there. That you were very pissed it did not make it.
Oh yeah, I know. Honestly, how can you go wrong with South Park not being on that list? South Park, my favorite. You have the Mount Rushmore of TV shows. South Park's up there for me, without a doubt. It's constantly awesome, and this theme song. Let's all go down to South Park. Whatever.
That's delightful, man.
I know it's right up there for me, and it just also like I probably replaced it with Tim and Jim, and probably Ryan will probably kill me for this, but Power Rangers.
Yeah. Okay.
Power Rangers, and also just going over the poll you have here, like without doubt, on that list there's Simpsons, Game of Thrones, and of course, I can't go wrong with my Apocalypse member, Grant. When it comes to Pokemon, I fuck like 98.
Yeah, sure.
That shit.
Yeah. Pokemon. I mean, Digimon, I guess, would also be like an okay pick. Definitely not a Pokemon, but like one that's still pretty gosh darn catchy.
Oh, Pokey Rap.
Yeah. No, not the Poke Rap. Not the fucking Poke Rap. I'm willing to give the Pokemon theme the benefit of the doubt because it's an absolute phenomenon, but not the Poke Rap.
No.
Also, I'm sort of amazed that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm amazed that didn't make it on there, to be honest with you. I don't know if you can tell. I'm a bit of a Batman fan.
Really? I never knew. Jake,
know,
over to you. What were some notable missions on your neck of the woods?
I don't know if it made a list, but did Curb Your Enthusiasm make the list?
Curb Your Enthusiasm wasn't even mentioned.
Oh, that is BS, because I think that's an amazing thing. Like,
we were, my Graham and I were talking about after the show. We were both like, Curb Your Enthusiasm was never even mentioned, and I feel like that's like one of the best for like the HBO Showtime kind of shows.
Absolutely, and it's a memorable theme, and it's also just like it's become a meme at this point, and everyone knows it. You don't even have to have seen the show to know the music. I think that definitely should have at least got an honorable mention. Yeah, definitely, that would have been my choice.
Yeah.
Well, there's one that's a little bit weird that it's not on there, which is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, The Office. That was one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the honorable mentions. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And just to show off a bit, you were playing that in A, sir.
I was indeed.
And John Shalvey in the chat also got a really good one too. X-Men the animated series.
X-Men the animated series. I was
good.
like, shit, we left that.
I was really torn on putting that one on as well. Luca, over to you. Anything that you would have changed up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, So in your list, like in your own personal list, I know you were a very big advocate for Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I love that.
Is Twin Peaks number one in your mind, or
no? Twilight Zone is number one in my mind. I think that's like that in terms of like capturing the mood and the atmosphere of the show. So Twilight Zone, I voted for Twilight Zone for number one. Twin Peaks is probably number like 3, maybe. Number 2 for me is a theme that wasn't on the list and I didn't bring up because it wasn't going to get brought up. It wasn't going to get put on. Is the theme from Cowboy Bebop, which is
my god,
Japanese animated series. The theme is called Tank. It's by a composer called Yoko Kanno, who leads a jazz band called the Seatbelts. And the thing about that theme is that it's a space bounty hunter type thing, and the theme is like this like really jazzy, very brassy very kind of classic. Feels almost a bit similar in tone to like a Mission Impossible theme. But is so cool and so like effortlessly captures the spirit and feeling of that show. Let's dance. It's so sick. I love it so much. I would have replaced the Firefly theme with that because the Firefly and that show are very similar. And I think when you put them together, it's like Firefly's theme is. I find it dull. I find it boring. And then the Cowboy Bebop theme is so vivid and bursting with life and style.
So just to quickly add there, I would have replaced Sesame Street with a Disney classic that I'm really surprised didn't get nominated. That'd be DuckTales. When William Bibbiani William Bibbiani did an AMA that night, and I asked him, like, just out of curiosity, what's your top TV theme? And he's like, I'd be stupid if I didn't say DuckTales. But then he mentioned, like, there was, like, a David Cassidy undercover man. He mentioned that theme was stuck in his head for a while. But, Sean, if we were going about guitar themes, I think you have to mention King of the Hill. I'm really surprised that didn't get mentioned.
100%. I mean, there's also one that didn't get mentioned that I love, and I don't feel like gets enough love, is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Their theme is actually fantastic at the beginning of that show. Like it's it's a great theme to a TV show, and I love that theme personally. Like,
what's that one show, for example, that has the theme that's like a full-on musical number? I think it's called Jack of All Trades.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about the one with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was
incredible.
Oh dude, yeah, that was. From the Isles of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. That's a fantastic theme. That is such a good theme. That one is a freaking earworm. It's all
right, guys. So with that, unfortunately, we have to move on here as we decide to have there were three goddamn matches in the MTS. We went from having none last week to 3. And first we have to go to a match that definitely wasn't hyped whatsoever. Like nobody talked about this match at all. That is of course Team Destiny taking on NWO. Maybe it should have happened like weeks ago. This was a very, very close match. I thought this was going to be kind of a blowout on paper, but I think it might have been the round 2 categories that might have changed things up a little bit. I have to go to Jake. Your thoughts on this match, and when NWO went, I believe 4 for 4 and movie release dates in round 2.
Yeah.
6 for 6.
Well,
oh no, they do 4. Right?
Yeah.
They do 6 or 4.
Yeah. When they went, I know they went perfect. When they went perfect in round 2, were you nervous at all that they might get that win?
Oh, definitely. Because the thing is that I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It always comes down to the second round, because the second round changes everything. I was, for example, in my Inner Geekdom match with Grant, we were tied in the first round, and then second round, I got a little too confident, and I got a couple of questions wrong, and then he just aced the start round, and then that's of course what got him a big lead. And of course, that's what happened with Destiny and NWO. I didn't know Caleb was that good at movie release dates, and we got Spinner's choice, and it was Robert's choice to say, let's go comic book movies, and I was more like, yeah, let's do it, because we're both pretty good in comic book movies, but it just, all of them, when you take away Marvel and DC, which are going to be in Inner Geekdom, you have all of these obscure comic book movies that, Johnny, you know some of them, but some of them is like, holy shit, really? That's a question that you're going to use? Like that CM Punk one? I never even heard of
the SLC Punk question was hilarious. The comic books for that movie were released after the movie.
That's just so, like, yeah, I don't know what you would call as a comic book movie, but some of them were so obscure. And that was just like, yeah, I don't know why we decided to go with that, especially when Robert is one of the most experienced in Inner Geekdom, but that really what caused us almost to lose, and thank God for that third round, because I don't know how Caleb missed that Total Recall question. That still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Joel Scoop, I feel like, come on.
So actually, I'm gonna go to Mark next here. First off, your thoughts on the match. You've been an avid anti-NWO person. Like, you'll shit on them as much as you can. We were talking about comic movies in round 2. I know that you're fairly versed in movies and geekdom and comic book as well. Would you be surprised if maybe comic movies comes off of the wheel in round 2? Because just maybe that, like, because it's been delved into so much that the questions are just getting really deeper, where you see something like movie release dates or even like horror in our league especially, like, just doesn't get touched enough, so the questions might be a little bit off the top, you know what I mean? So
I definitely get it. And of course, like, hey, I've been ripping on the NWO since day one, and now they've, instead of evolution, it's de-evolution with the NWO B team right now. They used to have Jim, Sandy, Haven. Well, of course, Haven. Wait, who's Haven? It's Vincent. Vincent of the NWO B team. Like, that guy keeps talking. I've knocked him out twice. And then you got this false king. I'm really disappointed when it comes to Destiny. You guys play with your food a little too much there, and it got close.
We never came in cocky though, or overconfident. We always respect our opponents. We're faces. We always want to go in and just say, yeah, we're gonna just. We don't, because me and Robert, we went in thinking, oh, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know the outcome, and that's what I mean. It really came down to the second round, and that what changed things. We still won. A win is still a win, and a loss is still a loss.
Which is still.
It was gonna be.
It's always
right.
Watching the NWO get a loss, but like, no. Caleb, like, movie release dates. That I give you props for that. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Luca, I have to go to you next year as somebody who's just joined the league recently, but definitely with a bang. With the win of Destiny and the win of NWO, I'll give you like you're the commissioner for the day. Who do they go on to next in terms of Destiny getting to get into a title match, and maybe for NWO to kind of bounce back and get in the win list?
Well, NWO goes in the fucking trash. Who gives a shit? Fuck them.
Yeah.
I
Tell
mean,
us what you really think, Luca.
Maybe they can play the men with no name. Like, that's maybe a faction that possibly exists. Possibly. But like, besides that, you know, what the fuck is it? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? That's the thing. Who cares? Fundamentally,
Yeah.
right? Who actually cares? I just want to see them devour each other because they're such fucking big egos, and they're all gonna want to have like the spotlight and the limelight all the time on all of them. They're just gonna end up fucking infighting and eating each other alive, and it's gonna be hilarious.
My analogy of the NWO is that they're a bunch of first graders picking on eighth graders who just want to play in the playground, and they're in the way. Like, come and face me, and we just push them out of the way. That's how easy they are. It's just like
It really
they're
is.
not in the same league.
As for the Alpha Alliance, the Team Destiny team, I mean, surely the natural progression is that you put like me and Sean in a team, and we just go against them. Surely that's the natural progression. That has to be the way it goes from here. Or like Sean and Grant in a team, or me and Grant in a team.
Me and
Like-
Grant are actually a team, and we hold the point scoring record
There we
in
go.
this league. So
Chug them against those two, or chug me in a team with, you know, someone who may or may not at some point be a member of the Apocalypse faction. And then we'll see what happens. I've got my debut in the movie trivia tournament.
there's a certain person that we may or may have not picked up, you know, for a specific match, which, you know, will remain unnamed. But I guarantee you, if Luca, if you and him got in a team together, that would be the most ferocious, terrifying team I would ever. Like, I would be like, "Fuck that!" I'm like,
This
no
dude
way.
is big news.
Me
But then, of course, like there's a personal level of loyalty to my teammate Greg Weinstein from the Worldwide Movie Games. Maybe he's interested. Who knows? You know.
For sure.
In regards to sort of other things, like I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the layout of the teams at the moment. I've got my singles debut coming up in April, so I'm just kind of focusing on the layout of that league at the moment. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, for sure. Sean, I have to go to you. As much as NWO gets shit on, you are often one of the first people to come into defense, and like, you know, like Caleb and Haven know their stuff. Like Caleb, like Haven in singles is 2-1. I know his last match in singles came at a pretty big knockout against Chance.
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal.
Definitely not his best work, and I don't think that's a work to go off of. What do you think NWO's game plan is in terms of getting that next win?
Put Nicole in a match.
Who do you replace? Do you take out Caleb or Haven?
For
Haven.
teams?
Yeah.
Haven.
I mean, I don't want to shit on those guys. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that wind up dogpiling on those guys, and I just don't want to do that. You know,
absolutely.
I think that there's moments that they have where they can be, you know, difficult. That's a word I'll use to describe them.
It's an easy word.
They're very difficult to deal with sometimes. But at the exact same time, like when you get to actually talk with those guys, like, you know, behind the scenes and stuff like that, they're extraordinarily nice people. And
Caleb and Haven are really, really good dudes.
Oh, they're a couple of sweethearts. They're absolutely fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about either of those guys.
I even a lot for getting me into this league.
Oh yeah.
A lot that I look for.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but the way Grant came into the league was Haven wound up basically shitting all over this piece of artwork that Grant wound up making.
Oh wow!
And that's how you wound up getting your movie trivia champion at this point.
Yeah.
It's a really weird situation, but no, I like those guys. You know, I don't have any ill will towards them.
Like just to let you know, we will fuck them up in the faction wars. Just to let you know.
Yeah, we will 100%.
Yeah,
like
for sure. So with that, guys, let's move on to the next match that we have over at MTS. That was actually our first live match of the day, where we had the Crusher, Malcolm Lay, taking on a debuting Jose, he being the Metal Zodiac, and what I thought was actually a pretty good debut. Definitely wasn't camera shy. He had a bit of personality. I think if you give him like another match or two to kind of just grow in terms of character, I think he'd actually be pretty entertaining. I know this one here they were tied after round one. They got Kevin Costner for round two, and then Jose was able to guess. Or no, I think Malcolm might have been ahead after round one, but I know it was tied after round two because Jose got a couple bonus points there in round two. Let's go to Luca first. Your thoughts on the match and the debut in Jose?
I like Jose. I think Jose was super fun. Like Jose was a really, really interesting competitor to watch. Malcolm is a guy that I had like one of my very first online movie trivia matches against. He had me a pretty nasty loss back about like 9 months ago before I studied the fuck up and got to where I am now. So I know Malcolm. I know that Malcolm can be a pretty fierce competitor when it comes down to it. But I really enjoyed Jose, and like seeing Jose at this point versus like seeing how like Malcolm was when Malcolm debuted. Jose was a stronger player in his debut than Malcolm was in his first ever match. So if you have that progression on, I think that Jose makes up for it a lot. Y'all need to fucking no more Kevin Costner movies, though.
Hell yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, dude's not a good actor, but he's been in a lot of movies. And you named all of his bad ones.
Except for Waterworld. No one named
Except
it.
for Waterworld, which
And
is
The
not
Postman.
and was mentioned.
Yeah,
It was,
nobody
yes.
nobody watched Waterworld, and it was fucking awful.
I love the shit out of that movie.
Yeah,
That movie was fucking terrible.
Jake, over to you. Your thoughts on the match and yeah, the lack of Kevin Costner. We also got to see James Bond rear its ugly head into round 3. I believe that was the question that gave Malcolm the win.
No,
Jose got it right. Yeah, Jose got it right, and then Malcolm got it back for sure.
Yeah, I think like as much as everyone hates Die Another Day, everyone knows that Halle Berry was the Bond girl in that film.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Is that just?
Yep.
You don't have to be a
Yeah,
Bond.
everyone knows
know
she
that.
played Jinx.
Yeah, so that was a little like I felt it was an easy 5-pointer. But yeah, I was just Kevin Costner has been on a lot of films. And I feel like they missed on like Bull Durham and then A Perfect World. I would love to see that mentioned. I love that film. And then of course like Field of Dreams and there's just it's done so many films. So it's crazy that they mentioned like I said all of his bad films. But I don't know. It's just you don't know what actor you're gonna get in that second round, and that's why I always like the movie leagues. That the second round is different to the other leagues, and that you have to kind of think of the filmography of an actor or a director, and so it can be challenging. You have to think on your feet.
I'm actually like I know that I'm 0-4, but like actually round 2 is probably one of my favorite things because I just find it's a different process in terms of like coming up with answers because like for instance like when I hear an actor, my first process is all right, what are the animated movies that they're in because animated is my strength, and then I literally go down like I go like recents, and if I hear a movie I might branch off into like actors that they've collaborated with or directors or something. So Sean, I'll go to you next here. Your thoughts on the match and who would be a good opponent for Jose to go up against now that he is unfortunately
good opponent for Jose. You wouldn't be a bad matchup for Jose. I think that would be a fun match that I'd like to see.
For sure.
Not to throw you under the bus there or anything like that.
No,
but
absolutely.
I think that would be a fun one for him to play. Kane McMillan. That'd be another good one.
I think Kane and I actually might have a match in the near future. When the rankings came out, Kane called me out for a match.
Did he?
Yeah, so that might be definitely it's good old slugfest in terms of points. Definitely won't
give it to Woodburn. Dude's always free.
Oh, Woodburn! No, Woodburn would be a great match for Jose. Actually,
I think Woodburn.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into maybe rankings a little bit later.
Yeah, we will. That's a conversation for a different day, probably off stream. There's some knots that have to be loosened.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later, but no, it was a good match. I was really surprised at the lack of Kevin Costner movies that wound up getting said.
There's like a more important actor that a lot of stuff was missed on that we're going to get to in a second.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to get to that one. Girls in the mist.
Yeah. All right. So Mark, over to you. I know that you're very character heavy in terms of. Did Mark just ding dong ditch?
I'm here.
Okay. So the question I have for you, you're very character driven.
People mention this movie.
You definitely bring up like you're definitely a heel in the league for sure. What do you think? Where do you see Jose going with a potential character or like a potential kind of persona? Do you think he's the lovable face, or maybe does he go a little dark with the Metal Zodiac persona?
In all honesty, I take offense to that statement there. I'm not a heel. I tell it like it is. People don't like it. Whatever.
You're a self-described heel.
I've never said that. I tell it like it is.
Bullshit.
If you're not a heel, Miz is not a heel because the Miz tells it like it is.
Hey,
He's also in like really bad movies. Are you in really bad movies, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh,
Were you in The Marine?
The Marines movie sucked, but
Oh god.
Oh no, but honestly, unfortunately, I've seen every match but this one, so I can't fully get. I will watch it as soon as the stream's over.
Yeah.
But I just like unfortunately I work afternoon, so it's kind of hard to watch everything. But like I said, I've watched everything but this match. But with Malcolm, you're 2-0. I'm coming back. I'm on morning starting the week after next week, April 9th. I'm back. I'm taking you on. Malcolm, you're 2-0. I'm 2-1. I've not had a movie trivia match since November. I'm back. I want that match.
Absolutely. All right. Well, pending council / Haven approval. We'll see about that. I don't want to confirm anything because last time that happened, shit happened. So
I fully understand.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. So we're just gonna we're not gonna open that can of worms, and we're gonna get into actually the main event of MTS, and what I thought was gonna be a really good match on paper. Zaddy Z-Man Smith taking on Drake. I don't want to butcher your last name there, but I've seen Drake compete. What was it again? Sorry,
Frensdorf.
All right, Frensdorf.
Frensdorf.
Yeah, I watched him. Yeah, I watched him compete in There Will Be Trivia with Jim Green. I thought they had a really good performance. So I thought Drake would have been a great opponent. Zadis, of course, being the lovable teddy bear that he is, like he's. Like, how do you hate the guy?
I love Zadius so much.
So I think
amazing.
The highlight out of this match that I think everybody's talking about is the very low scoring round 2 with Sigourney Weaver. I'm gonna go to Sean first.
I mean, what do you even say about it, really? You know, if you got 3 people, in my opinion, that you have to bring up as some of the greatest action actresses of all time, it's Sigourney Weaver, Linda Hamilton, and Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a good handle on Sigourney Weaver's filmography, like that's insane to me. She's been in so many incredible films. You know, like, yeah, I really don't even know what to say about it. Though, I will say Z-Man is one of the sweetest human beings you will ever meet in your entire life.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's not a bad word I could say about that guy. So
he seems to be just the nicest, genuinely nicest guy in this league.
Honestly, it's like he's like insufferably nice.
Yeah,
he is like insufferably nice, but yeah, that Sigourney Weaver round was just that shocked me.
Yeah, absolutely. Luca, your thoughts on the match? And I know round 3 was kind of back and forth. They were tie going into round 2. I know there's a Jaws question, and then trying to remember the question that Drake had that he eventually lost on. I think I knew the answer.
I'll make a check. I'm gonna make a check. I'm just gonna watch the last little bit of the round.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's have a look.
All right.
Yeah, go to someone else, and then we'll go back to me. For
sure. Jake, your thoughts on the match? And with Zadius now, I believe he is 2-1.
2-2.
2-2. Yeah. Who is a good opponent for him? Somebody who was like a seasoned veteran in the league, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I've faced Drake before in the team tournament on the There Will Be Trivia channel, and I knocked him out. Just to say that, just want to point that out. But I do think Z-Man. I think maybe Haven would be a good match. They have similar records. I'd say they're both 2 wins. I think Haven's 2-1, and he may be 2-2 or 3-1 after the triple threat match that I had with him and Jeff. But yeah, I think that'd be an interesting match to see, and I think it'd be nice to see what Z-Man does in the future. But as for Drake, I don't know. He's 0-1 now. There are a couple of people who are 0-1 that I think would be a fine match. He's a nice guy, and he wanted to and Jim got him into this league, so I think it'd be cool to see I think he needs to just play a little bit more. I think Inagigda maybe
Well, there's also someone that's 0-1 in MTS that might be a good matchup for him, which is a man by the name of Jake Marangoni.
Oh,
yeah. We have seen Jay compete in singles in other leagues. Maybe I think he went up against some jobber who just didn't fucking know movie release dates.
Was his first name B or something?
I don't know. Somebody thought that he was a girl at first hand. I know that.
Oh yeah, for some reason, I think he got knocked out.
Yeah,
a very tall girl, by the way.
That match actually haunts me to this day. Like when that match went up, I watched it. I'm like, I can't. Like this is like it was
definitely watched it.
Heartbreaking defeat. Oh, obviously it's a great win for you, and you deserve every bit of this.
I feel so proud of it. I don't know why we're talking about this match, but I feel so proud of it. I didn't miss one question. It was in the first round, and I got so many steals from you on the movie release dates. But I was just really happy about that match. But let's not talking about that.
You're lucky that I passed on comedy. Mark, over to you. Thoughts on the match, and where do you see Drake going from here?
With Drake, it was a good match. Like I said, ever since the old Fan Reaction League, I've been a fan of Sadius. Like Sadius is just like you honestly, like Sean said, you can't say a negative word about him. There's two people's laughs that I've always loved in being a part of these leagues. Sadius and Fella. If any of you guys remember Fella from the old Fan Reaction League, and then unfortunately, personal reasons, he had to step away from a lot of the trivia stuff. But like both those guys were, but Sadius, like, fuck him. Hey, I'm always happy for the success he has, just because like he's so lovable. Yeah. But with Drake, I would love to see a match with Jake.
All right. So Luca, over to you. So that's still that round 3 question, and then also I'm going to add in we have Caleb Marstados in the chat joining us as well, and he's mentioning maybe Zadius versus Caleb Coho. Your thoughts on maybe that kind of match? How would that go in terms on paper?
Yeah, okay. So the last question of that match was Drake being asked who plays Sandra Brody in Godzilla. Anybody got the answer?
Yeah, Academy Award winner Juliette Binoche.
Juliette Binoche.
Yep.
Wonderful actress, was in the English version. She's great. I love her.
One of my favorites, yeah.
So I thought the match was good. Like again, I have to back out on this. Sigourney Weaver is like top 5 of all time for me. Like when it comes to actresses, I just think she's wonderful. She manages to be both like a blockbuster actress and a character actor at the same time. It's mad. She's super, super good. I like the idea of Zadius versus Caleb Coho, but we had a thing in the heads-up tournament. Was the Battle of Aziz. Zadius versus Zach Ford. Now, I kind of like that as a movie trivia match. I like that a lot as a movie trivia match.
I think like,
those guys work off each other so well.
Yeah, like to me, that match is good anywhere because like just how they went off each other and they were both like just kind of happy, like not really like they were giving a fuck, but they were definitely like, oh, I just got it wrong, or whatever. Oh, I got it wrong too. So I think that would be a very entertaining, very fun match in terms of just very laid back. So with that, guys, that covers all of the matches that we had today in movies. And if you thought movies was busy, man, IG was pretty well the exact same. I want to get to the first live match of the night because I know Luca might be leaving here pretty soon. So I want to get to that match first. We have, of course, Luca making their debut in Inner Geekdom, going up against the British Bulldog, Dave Goodger. And I know Jake and I have been on his show, That Made Your List. That guy knows his shit in terms of movies. Very, very well versed. And, Luca being able to get Harry Potter in round 2. Dave getting DC, and then Dave missing that Avengers question, which kind of surprised me. But I mean, like it's a heat of the moment. Like the camera's on you. You might miss up. You're gonna miss stuff like that, and like it's gonna happen. Luca, I mean, you're obviously competing. Your thoughts on the match? And yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I obviously went into IG being like really unsure about it. It was one of those things where it's like, it doesn't take long talking to me to know that like comic book movies are just not my strength. I like them; they're fun. But I'm not the kind of person who can like devote huge chunks of my time to studying like every minute detail of them. It's just not where I find enjoyment. But like yes, having the Harry Potter questions helped, but at the same time, IG trivia is still movie trivia, and I'm still really good at movie trivia. So just because it's like a more specific aspect of it does not mean that like I'm not a contender in it. I went out of that first round 6-3. I had twice as many points. So while I think that had I gotten like DC movies or let's go with the other one. Let's go with Marvel movies. I probably wouldn't have done as well. There are I can think of off the top of my head 5 chunks on that wheel that I could have done like extremely well in, and those are Harry Potter, Star Wars, Star Trek, release dates, and scores and soundtracks. I am really good at all of those things. So while I went into that match not being massively sure about it, I think I'm going to keep doing it in geekdom because it's movie trivia and I'm good at that. I don't think I'm necessarily someone to be in title contention at any point, but like it's fun, it's enjoyable. I had a good time, and Dave is great. Dave's like really fun, and I really want to be on his podcast. I might have ruined my chances because I kind of thrashed him, but we'll see.
Jake, over to you. I know you've had the chance to chat with him on that major list. I know Dave struggled with DC. Do you think this match is closer to get his strength? I believe he had listed Star Wars, and I think MCU might have been his other strength.
Yeah, definitely.
Your thoughts?
I think, Dave's a cool guy. I mean, I got to chat with him. I got to be on his podcast, which everyone should go see because it's a great podcast. If you want to be on there, I hear he's being Taylor Robinson on the podcast. So look forward to that. It was a pretty high scoring match. It was 18-14. I mean, and for a debut for both Luca and Dave, it's a really good debut. And I mean, you make me laugh, Luca, because you said you're not really like in a geekdom's not your expertise, but you still kicked ass. Like, that's very interesting to me. Kind of humorous because you got what, like 2 questions wrong or something like that.
I did get 2 questions wrong. Yes, they were a Marvel question and a question, or an MCU question, a DCU question.
There was Justice League one that got you. But I both did really well, and I'll be interested to see. Oh, I know Luca's going up against. I think is it Jen or Jessica?
I'm going up against Jen in movie trivia. Speaking of, a certain someone has popped up in the YouTube chat, talking about how she distinctly remembers me running my mouth off of it at the end of that IG tournament. That offer still stands. It's still there, Jess. If you would like to have your ass kicked in vengeance for Full Metal Trivia, please, I welcome it. Please repeat what you did to me in FMT, or just like get stomped, because either is fine by me.
Yeah. Sean, I'm gonna go to you next. Obviously with Luca's win, that's got to be huge for Apocalypse. I mean, like, you guys seem to have no holes in terms of like all the divisions. What do you think this means in terms of the upcoming Faction Wars match? And what do you think? For Dave, who do you think would be another good opponent for him?
But I guess since Dave's 0-1, potentially playing someone like me wouldn't be a bad thing in the world. Yeah. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. As far as Luca getting the win, I mean, I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like there's 2 times, in the last couple of weeks where Lucas pulled something off, and I've been like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, I've been losing my shit. That's when he beat Jeremy in Worldwide Movie Games. I was like losing it at that point. I was like, that is so awesome. But no, like, I'm at risk of blowing up the guy's ego and stuff like that. I honestly think Luca is genuinely like the best addition that possibly could have joined up with us. And believe me, I'm so happy that he's a part of Apocalypse. And he's just made us even stronger. Like, it's awesome. I'm super elated about the fact that he's with us and that he's as good as he is. And well, hey, it's the truth, man. But no, like, straight up, I'm super stoked on the fact that this Faction War is coming up. And we've got a freaking wicked squad. We've got an amazing lineup of people going into this match. I would say that we've got as good a chance as anybody to take it all home, Like, You know, I'd say it's us, it's Atomic Nation, and it's Alpha. You know, there are three teams that really have got a serious crack at winning it all, and I'm looking forward to this so much.
I want
Absolutely, man.
to make a quick
Absolutely.
point about that. The thing about Apocalypse that like I've found Apocalypse to be great. They're like a really like welcoming, enjoyable, fun group of people to be around. Also really strong. The thing about Apocalypse that's really kind of stuck out to me while we've been preparing for this faction wars thing is that like we've tried like 4 or 5 different combinations and orders for the same 5 people. And there is not one. There are so many different like potential layouts and loadouts and stuff like that. We're like, yeah, that gives us a really good chance of winning. Like we're all really, really well-rounded players, which I think is important. Like I think when it comes to like being a well-rounded player, I think the archetype, I think the person that you have to look to is Chance Ellison. I hate to say it, but I think that there are people in our faction that like once we keep doing this a bit more, get a little bit more experience in various leagues, we're up there. We're really up there. You know, it's very rare that like you get a team as well rounded as we are. I think we're solid.
Yeah. Mark,
Can I just say one more thing about the? Sorry, just gonna say one more thing about the faction wars. All I'll say is that the Alpha Alliance has already got our 5 members set for the league. So,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
a bit of foreshadowing.
Let's just say if I'm the weak link of the Apocalypse, that's scary. So just be worried. Be worried, everyone.
Apocalypse does not have a weak link, my friend.
Agreed.
Yeah, Mark, anything to add on the match and yeah.
When it comes to the match with myself, basically it was a fun match. I'm really happy Dave put his Bulldogs back. I just unfortunately his timetable being in the living in the UK. Unfortunately, it hasn't helped him getting back into the trivia leagues, but like he's another guy that I've been hoping to come back. Every time I see his name pop up, I've always been excited to see him come back. But like I'm happy for Luca to win it. But the one thing that the biggest takeaway from that match, mashed potatoes going, really, Kane? I just watched the match earlier today, and I'm forgetting exactly why he did that. It was some really simple question.
Oh, it was who? Okay, so I got in the Harry Potter round, which I hit players who always say Harry Potter. Basically because I knew that they wouldn't be able to steal from it as well, because Star Wars is equally a strength. I got asked who played Sirius and Flat. Yeah. That's for a round 2 question. That's the deal. And like there were no kind of gimmies of similar levels in Dave's round 2 questions. Yeah. So I kind of got a bit of a free 2 points there. So I would say that there was maybe a bit of an issue with the consistency of difficulty in the round 2 questions. There was a round 1 Harry Potter question that would have probably done better in round 2, and a round 2 question that would have been done better in round 1.
Just to I guess to kind of defend Kane and just to kind of like as an avid question writer in jukebox and movies, and I think I even delved a little bit in IG. It's gonna happen. It's all in context. Like we can all.
I'm not done digging at the question. I'm just digging at Caleb's response. As soon as he read the question, he looked at the question and goes, "Really, Kane? Really, Kane?" And it's just like, that's my biggest takeaway from the match.
For sure.
I gotta go now, guys.
All right,
dude, have yourself a good one, brother.
Luca, anything you want to plug quick before you go?
Anything I want to plug? Watch Jack of all Trivia, watch Full Metal Trivia, watch Full Metal 5, watch World Wide Movie Games, watch Movie Battleground. Besides that, please stop turning up at my house for autographs. It's getting really oppressive. I don't know how you guys are all affording the plane tickets. And like, I appreciate it. It's flattering. But if you could ask me to stop like signing pictures of your kids, it's really strange. Besides that, I love ending a session talking about myself. So thanks for giving me that opportunity. And I will see you guys around.
Well,
London,
it's an easy drive for me. I just have to go outside of town for me. So
see you later, guys.
Cheers, man. So with that, guys, we will get to the actual first match of that evening of Intergeekdom, where Jess put on a clinic. This is it's kind of cool because it's actually the first match that I get talked. It's the first match that we talk about on the Rewind where I was actually competing. Got knocked out though. Not fun at all. I will say. I decided to poke my head out of hibernation to get back in the ring just to see what I was like. I was not expecting a win in this whatsoever. I think Inner Geekdom is like number 3 and number 4 in terms of all the divisions of strengths. But yeah, we've seen what Jess has been able to do in singles and teams in full metal trivia. She's been white hot. And yeah, she had a very impressive knockout, going almost perfect in round 1, and then when she spun scores and soundtracks in round 2, I was like, I told her, I'm like, what would be really impressive is if you knocked me out in scores and soundtracks.
And guess what? She did.
Yeah, she did. Mark, over to you. Your thoughts on that match? And yeah,
there's someone in the chat right now that's making a suggestion. Maybe Brooklyn should watch a Star Trek movie.
Yeah, that was definitely definitely a huge hole in my game.
Yeah.
That's cold-blooded, Jess.
Have you seen
That's fucking cold-blooded.
Star Trek?
Speaking of which, Full Metal Commentaries Marathon starting really soon. Brooklyn, you're welcome to join in.
Is that tonight?
No, we're focused on the championship match.
Okay.
Brooklyn, have you seen the 2009 Star Trek film?
Oh, yeah.
Or any of the rebooted films?
A single Star Trek film.
You've not seen any.
Not a one.
You haven't seen Wrath of Khan?
Nope.
Like, even Wrath of Khan. You haven't watched Wrath of Khan. What the fuck?
Voyage Home. There's some.
Nope.
As a non-Star Trek fan, there's some good Star Trek films that you can watch.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm not. Yeah. I'm a fan of Star Trek. I just haven't. I just haven't watched them.
The rule with Star Trek films generally is even numbered even numbered Star Treks are good. Odd numbered Star Treks aren't that great.
Rebooted series, and when it's the odd numbers.
Yeah, it's so weird how that worked out.
Yeah, and even Nemesis wasn't that good, so it's kind of a weird theory and all that.
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
there's ebbs and flows to the whole series, but. Yeah.
But
hey, Brooklyn, Tom Hardy's actually in Nemesis. If you check that out, he plays a clone of Picard.
Yeah.
Does a really good job on it too, actually.
For sure. Jake, your thoughts on the match and Jess obviously going 7 for 8. I think was pretty impressive. And then even scores and soundtracks. For me, I thought scores and soundtracks might not have been her best category. It was actually the one that I was hoping that she'd get. I thought it might have had a good chance in terms of steals. But yeah, anything you want to add? Yeah.
2 matches come to mind when I saw Jess win. My match against Nico when I went just a little ego coming out when I went scores and soundtracks in the second round, and I did pretty well in that. And it surprised a lot of people because apparently it's like the movie release dates have indicated them. You don't go scores and soundtracks. So that also reminded me of that and how well she did. And also Robert's match against, I think it was Subaru. It was someone and he knocked him out completely. That's kind of like what I saw with in Jess is that she's an up and coming Inagita player, and she's it also just reminded me of when she just went with scores and soundtracks. I was like, yeah, sure. It's like when McQueenie just goes with the first spin. It's like there's almost no flaws in her game, and she's certainly one to be reckoned with because she's an intimidating person. Yeah, I definitely would like to see her go up against who's she got? Who's she going up against in Kingdom? It is Luca, right?
It might be like that's pending schedules and pending pending approval from obviously Caleb who runs the league. But I mean,
and also it just depends if Jess accepts this challenge and all that sort of stuff that's going to happen. But yeah, that'd be like a heart pounding point by point match and. Yeah, definitely one of the most anticipated in Geekdom for sure. But there's I don't know what if you can. There are some people who are just so well-rounded in these categories, and Jess is one of those, and I don't know if anyone can get up to her league. It's scary.
Yeah, for sure. Sean, your thoughts on the match, and yeah, do you think this is closer if I don't pull Star Trek?
It could be closer. Jess Morgan's a beast, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, she's a total beast. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even with here's the thing, we're doing a 3-on-3 match with Omega Kappa and Apocalypse coming up in a few weeks, and just the firepower of Jen Kemp and Jessica Morgan alone has me going like, okay, this is.
You don't have to worry about Nico.
Well, I mean, we'll get to Nico in a bit.
This is a point or two, maybe.
But no, but it's just those two are such incredible players. Like, they are fantastic. Every single match I've ever seen them in, even in the losses, they still bring it every single time. And so just with the firepower of those two alone, even though I've got Grant and Luca on my team that we're playing against them with, I'm still going like, okay, I've really got to mind my P's and Q's on this one, because if I don't, that's bad news for me.
Yeah.
That can end in a really bad night if we're not careful about it. And so I think Jess Morgan's one of the best trivia players, hands down.
Yeah, for sure,
hands
for sure.
down.
And then like I mentioned earlier in that match, we are now 1-1 in our matches. Like myself and Ed TKO'd team. There'll be trivia. Like they do have a couple of holes, but maybe when that 3-on-3 match happens, like those holes are filled up. But yeah, I'm excited to see who Jess takes on in the Geekdom, whether it's Luca, somebody else who's want to know, maybe even not sure, maybe even our next person, in terms of the triple threat that we had as our main event. And all of these guys were debuts, and what I heard to be was a scheduling nightmare turned out to be actually a really fun match. That is, of course, Thomas the Geeky Assassin Chronofest. He took on El Jefe, Jeff Matson, and Mike Sawicki, a.k.a. Robert's roommate, as that was mentioned very heavily in the match in general. I mean, yeah, like, to be blunt about it and to call a spade, this is really a match between Thomas and Jeff. Mike was putting in his best effort, but unfortunately he wasn't able to put up any points. And I think he just needs another match, maybe, to kind of get his feet on the ground. But yeah, like a very entertaining one, to say the least. Thomas, of course, getting spinner's choice in round 2. El Jefe, what did he get? He got DC. No, because I know Mike got MCU, and yeah, I think Jeff got Marvel.
Yeah,
because I think were all his questions X-Men ones.
No, that was mine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My match against Grant.
Yeah. So let's go to Sean first. Your thoughts on all of these competitors debuting, and yeah. I'm
literally the worst person to go first on this one because I haven't seen the match yet.
Okay, Mark, over to you. Your thoughts on the match.
Oh, what, Mike, Robert's, a.k.a. Robert's roommate. Like, the first time that I saw him was when Full Metal Media, we did the DC tournament there, and
yeah.
He's entertaining. He's fun. He's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Movie trivia is not his strong suit. Neither is speaking for me, but yeah, I know. But I remember the one question he got right. No. Did he get Niagara? It was something involving Niagara Falls.
No, he got the question about 1918 right for Wonder Woman.
Yes,
I was in that match. It still haunts me to this day.
Yeah, no, he's fun as hell to watch, but trivia is not his strong suit, and he will readily admit that. Yeah. He's just there for fun. But I think you could tell it was the last match of the night. Just because there was a little bit of confusion with the round 2 scoring. Should Mike's last question counted towards point wise when it comes to steals?
Yeah.
Or And also, and when it came to the third round, I don't think that it should have gone to the second quote because like going into it, they were tied, weren't they? And the one guy got only the 1 point in his quote round, so that he could have only got a possibility of 2 when his opponent got all 5 points. So
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of an issue when it came to scoring in that match itself, but like I still like I said, I still had fun watching it though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very very entertaining match, and like I think like we haven't seen the triple threat in IG in quite a bit.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your. Who were the 2 competitors again?
So we have Thomas, aka the Geeky Assassin, Colonel Fett, El Jefe, Jeff Matson, and then Mike Sawicki.
Okay, Jeff's reaction after he
Don't barf there, Brooklyn.
I just burped.
After his reaction after he answered his quote, like, oh my god, that's the epic reaction of someone who thinks they got it right, but got it wrong.
I got it wrong.
That was awesome.
I'm literally just watching that moment right now, just to recap the ending.
Oh my god, that reaction right there.
It's so funny.
Oh yeah, it's just like
It's really good.
I know Star Trek. Oh, and then you got it wrong. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jake, over to you. Your thoughts on that match, and what of the? I know Thomas did get the win, but what was the more impressive performance?
The most, I mean, they all did. They all did pretty well. I mean, yeah, Robert's, it's his roommate. Yeah, he did fine. It was just, it's not his thing. I have to say, I just want to give props to Jeff for his name, his nickname. El Jefe? What's it?
El Jefe.
El Jefe.
El Jefe. I'm not Spanish. I'm sorry. I assume he's just a big fan of the film Chef.
I was just about to say that.
And just me and my friends love the film Chef. That's just one of our things. So it was cool when I saw it. I was like, oh my god, this guy loves Chef. So I thought that was pretty funny. But no, they all did pretty well. I think the second round definitely kind of swayed who was going to be the victor, and I thought the third round certainly made things interesting. I think Jeff did pretty well though, and I think definitely. Yeah, the Geeky Assassin, Bruno Fett, is someone who is going to be interesting to look out for. So, I thought the third round was funny as well. Just that's going to be something I'll be looking back at, just watching, just to see that reaction.
Oh yeah.
Also, just a side note on Chef: do not watch that movie when you're hungry.
Oh, it makes you so hungry.
Oh, dude, it's so bad.
Oh yeah,
the food is amazing. Oh my god,
yeah, it looks incredible.
I was watching that with my friends drunk, and we were just like going crazy over the food, and it was just
that was.
We had to go on a food run after that.
Not just that, but in my opinion, Cuban sandwich, greatest sandwich of all time.
Oh my god, it looks amazing.
Best sandwich in the world.
Sean, I believe it's actually pronounced
Montreal smoked meat. You already made that fucking joke.
I'm gonna keep going with this. Montreal smoked meat is definitely the best sandwich in a mile. Like you think about the spiciness of the smoked meat. You have like Dijon mustard. You could add horseradish. You can add some really nice pickles. I can't eat it myself, but really nice like Gruyere or a nice Swiss or a nice Gouda on some nice.
You literally just mentioned so many different elements of the Cuban sandwich. It's not even funny. You use Swiss cheese. You've got pickles. You've got mustard. You've got pork shoulder. And you've got ham.
It's not even pork. No, it's not pork shoulder. It's beef. It's like inside round or chuck.
In the Cuban?
No. In the Cuban, it's pork, but in the Cuban, it's pork.
I know. I was just describing a Cuban sandwich.
I know.
Not a Montreal smoked meat sandwich.
I know, but the aspects of
Come on. Thanks for joining us, Brooklyn.
So we just moved over from talking about an Innogator match to talking about food.
Yeah, don't get me started on food. It's bad.
Don't get me started on food. We can go about.
I'm well aware.
Go on about this for hours.
Goddamn bakery. I know. It's like
man. Wow. Yeah. Maybe that's another show. Like if we get really drunk. If we get drunk at like 1 a.m. on a Friday night and we just talk about really good food, if that gets enough views, that could be like a monthly thing or a bi-monthly thing.
Down for that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It'll just be like, all right, guys, who's plastered? Let's talk about food.
Exactly, and then it turns into a 2-hour argument about how you and I cook our steaks.
Mid-rare is the correct answer. Depending on the cost.
I meant the method behind.
The method.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, we all agree medium rare is the best.
Yeah. Although you can't go wrong with carpaccio or sashimi, or no, carpaccio or tartare. Like that raw application is really tasty.
So how are you doing, Mark? Are you having a good day?
I know. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, hi, Mark.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, no. We're passionate about food.
Hell yeah.
I love seeing this sort of stuff. It's just like when you just change topics so fast. It's like, yeah, I love this and all. It's great. No, it happens all the time.
For sure. This is a laid back approach, and if everybody remembers, this happened like on a whim. We started as an AMA, a one time thing, and then now we're 10 weeks in a row now, Jack Wall Trivia, which I think is really fucking cool.
Damn.
Tim, we're talking.
Yeah. So with that, guys, let's get into the Schmodown matches. If you were in the California area, you would have got to see you would have watched these on March 15th. But then, of course, Tuesday and Friday, these got uploaded for everybody who didn't get to go. So let's start off with the first one, and this wasn't anticipated to be a high-scoring match, but the Wildberries taking on Real Rejects, and which I think was a great opener. Definitely served its purpose of being like that hype match to get everybody going. I thought Real Rejects had a phenomenal promo in doing raps and disses and that kind of stuff, and then Wildberries, of course, just being the Wildberries, this kind of shooting from the hip, like oh yeah, we're drunk and like we don't care, and like just getting the crowd going. I have to go to Sean first. Your thoughts on the match, and yeah, Wildberries. Kind of a spoiler alert for a match that happened on Tuesday, but Wildberries did break their streak.
Yeah, they did. There's an old blues song called "Who Killed John Henry," and after that match, I have to wonder to myself who killed John Humphrey.
Oh,
more than anything else, I felt so bad when the Real Reject.
John, that was really clever.
Thank you.
I like that ingenuity.
Thanks. But no, I really like the Real Rejects. Like I genuinely like those guys, and I want to see them win. But it was just like it kind of sucked how they went out and shit. But Wildberries breaking the streak, and Josh McCouga finally getting a win for the first time in a little while.
In teams.
Yeah, in teams. Yeah. But I enjoyed seeing that. I enjoyed seeing that a lot. Though I'm bummed out because it's just like Real Rejects. They're damn good movie players. Like they really are.
Well, yeah. Well, you look at like John Humphreys in the free for all. Like he started.
He was amazing
right out of the gate. Yeah,
insane. Yeah. Insane. Nobody saw that coming.
He wasn't getting like the top score in each round, but he was just like he'd be like middle of the pack that just hang in there. And then, for sure.
Yeah. I really like them a lot, but it bums me out that they didn't pull it off. So
yeah. Jake, the question I have for you, this match works well, like phenomenally live. Do you think this match maybe kind of gets overhyped if it wasn't live, like without the crowd?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it seems like it would have been probably the best experience to watch it live. Unfortunately, I do not live in America, so I'm like yourself, Brooklyn. So it's unfortunate we can't go to these sort of things. I would have absolutely loved to if I lived close. If I was just a state away from, is it California, LA? I don't know. I'm not American. I don't know.
It's on the other side. It's on the other side of the
other side of the continent. Yes. So. Country, planet. I'm too tired. But yeah, no, it was a good match. I'm not a big Wildberries or Real Rejects kind of guy. I'm more the serious teams and movie trivia. That's why Above the Line is my favorite Schmodown team. But it was good to see. It was good to see just like fun, and it was also good to see there was trivia into it, especially in that round 2 from Wildberries, where like I've always considered Elliot Dewberry to be a really good trivia competitor. He just has to get the right questions. Yeah. And he really proved it in the comedy round. And especially that 5-pointer. Like I had no idea if he got it all right. And it looked like and I just loved what he did. Because once he heard Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, he went back and he was like, does he know it? And even McCouga was unsure. And then he just said Rising Sun. and bang, Angel win. I was like, did he win? And then the music played, and then they were celebrating. I was like, oh my god, it was such a good moment. I love it when you see moments like that when it really does come down to that last 5-pointer, and it really can make or break the game for whatever team. And I absolutely loved that. I thought it was good, and also I think Real Reject brilliantly used their challenge. They used it twice, and they won both. It was kind of crazy to see that. We've never seen it before. Both challenges actually upholded. Like it was good, and they've played the game so many times now that they know how to use the rules and play. They're not exactly the best when it comes to movie trivia, but they know how to play the game, and sometimes that can win you a match. But unfortunately, now they're 1-5. I don't know who they're going to be going up against. I think they said the Kingsman in their post-match interviews.
Yeah. All right, really quickly, guys. I'm sorry about doing this. 2 things. One, you're gonna hate me because I live 20 minutes. I used to live 20 minutes away from Collider Studios when I was living down in the States, and I never went to go see a live Schmodown. Yeah, I used to live.
People that just come in. Like, what's the setup for that? How do they just let fans in, or what's the?
I think they do somewhat. I mean, like, I'm pretty certain if you wind up messaging them at a certain point, they can potentially let you in and stuff. But yeah, I never wound up going to see those guys or like see any. I never went to go see Ellis do stand up, even though I knew he was like playing at a bunch of different spots. LA's expensive, so but there's that. So please don't hate me for that. But also, I actually have to get running because I've got some people coming over. Yeah, it's they're coming over in about 20 minutes, and so I gotta get running. But it's been awesome talking to you guys. So yep. All right.
Anything you want to plug very quickly, or?
Team Apocalypse, Jack of all Trivia is freaking awesome. Check out Worldwide Movie Games. Support Full Metal Media. I mean, basically anything that you enjoy when it comes to movie trivia stuff, check it out and support because it's awesome. So, but I gotta get going. So I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.
All right. Cheers. All the best. And suddenly, then there were 3. But yeah, to echo
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. To echo the comments that Jake made, definitely Elliot Dewberry is a really good competitor. Like he essentially carried ETC to a #1 contenders match. Where I think if Elliot has it's a competent partner, they give Wolves of Steel a run for their money in terms of that run. And yeah, for the Collider Live event, I'm really crossing my fingers that hopefully one of these days they'll go to Boston. I would definitely make the drive down. It's a 12-hour drive for me, and I think that'd be really cool. Maybe even if they did New York, maybe I might drive down, but that's a little bit farther out of my way. Mark, over to you. Thoughts on the match, and yeah, where do you see the Wildberries going from here, and now getting that first elusive win?
Well, it's always tough to say when it comes to that. Unfortunately, it's another match that I haven't seen this one. I saw the other one, but also you're talking about people who have the experience and should know the rules, which we'll get involved with this guy in the next match. But I'm personally a big fan of the Real Rejects. I love their YouTube channel. Greg Alba's hilarious. John knows his stuff when it comes to movies. I'm disappointed that they weren't able to get the win. But also when it comes to the Wildberries, in all honesty, 2 really fun teams that they could win, they could lose. Unfortunately, the Real Rejects have they've got 5 losses now, so that really hurts them. And I hope we still see them around. But just because usually it's if you got 3 losses, you have to break up or something like that.
Time and match.
Yeah.
Which would be the second for Rejects. They did against the Wangers.
Yeah,
for sure.
But also the Wildberries. Like I said, I don't care if they win. I don't care if they lose. They both can win. They've got the skill to win without a doubt. But I just find them entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
I just want to be entertained by them, and they do a great job of that. So keep it up, Makuga. Dewberry. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into our next match, I wanna thank the chat for being a part of us today. We got Jessica Nazario. They're actually still going on about Trek. I believe Caleb is hiding there somewhere. We have 7 people watching, so I think we have a pretty active chat right now. So I do ask if you guys have any questions that you want to ask us, get them in now. We are running a little bit late, so we'll probably take maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3. We'll see it. We'll see how it goes.
You get people.
I want to get into oh, and Paul's here. I've been watching. Type in a bit. So yeah, Paul is here. I don't think you've been part with us live, but yeah, welcome as always. But yeah, we have to get into easily one of the most anticipated matches in a while. JTE taking on Roca. I thought this was a great match in terms of storyline. You look at how Patriots have had top 10s number every time in terms of teams. GTE having that really shitty run last year, and then getting up. Yeah, the year before, and then having that really good run in terms of singles, and then Roca, who had the team's belt, lost, had the singles belt, couldn't defend it successfully, and then had that Schmodown. He ran into a white hot Sam Levine, and in terms of to compare this to Aussie Men reviews. This match was definitely a fuck you, not fuck you, not fuck you deadlock, where it was yeah.
I like your language there.
Yeah.
My language.
Yeah, it was that because it was like Roca was almost perfect, and then he missed it, and then JTE was like, nah, fuck you, I want to tie this up now, and then JTE got Artie and Sly, and Roca was like, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna get 2 steals. And then John Roca again was like, nah, fuck you, I'm going to get Westerns, and then dominate and get a 10-point lead going into round 3. Mark, your thoughts on the match? I know you're a very avid JTE supporter in terms of Patriots and spelling. So yeah.
Hey, in all honesty, everyone should be very, very proud of themselves, and also for those of you that bought tickets, you guys saw history. Roca, won something, and he finally got to beat the greatest of all time, JTE Josh Tapia. That's never going to happen again. Teams, not even close. What was a knockout and a TKO on the resumes when it comes to teams? Roca, be happy. Go into a retirement home. Go away. Leave the Patriots alone. You're not coming after the Lions den.
Oh yeah, for sure. Jake, over to you. I'm not sure if you're a Patriots person or a member of the Outlaw Nation, but your thoughts on the match and that slip up by JTE. Do you think that's where the wheel started coming off?
Yeah, it's weird because they both got their strengths in the second round, so you'd think it'd be a closer match. But JT, I think the big screw up that JT admitted was the Arnold Schwarzenegger clone movie from '99, which was, he said it was the 6th man, and when he said that it was the 6th day, and even Roca had known that, and I think the True Lies one, he had got that still, and that mainly.
Yeah, he mispronunciate here. He didn't pronunciate the actress correctly. I think he said
JT. It's typical of JT, so I'm surprised that he didn't even go to multiple choice, just knowing that he would probably have got the name wrong, and even Roca stole that. But he did get, and it's weird because that was JT's worst round 2, and usually he's had okay round 2s. Nothing that bad. He only got 1 question right, and he got 2 steals, and Roca got 2 steals. They were both 2-pointers, so it's kind of crazy. And to reference Aussie Man again, I mean, JT at the end of the match, he went to destination fucked things.
Yeah,
it was insane. And yeah, Roca got Westerns, and once again he proved that Westerns came back to haunt JTE after that Patriots top 10 match that almost could have, if that Jane Fonda thing actually happened. Oh man, that would have been crazy to see an even closer match. But yeah, Westerns just proved to be Roca's lifeline, because that definitely helped change the match.
Yeah,
even though Raquel's already in the lead without even getting that spin.
Yeah. So a quick question that I have for you guys then is, with JTE butchering that pronunciation, with the league being so finicky in terms of that, like you saw in John Roca Sam Levine, where like the Laura Heady thing or whatever, do you think now that competitors will have a safer approach in terms of round 2, where it might be like, I know who it is, I just want to go multiple choice so they can hear the correct pronunciation?
Yeah, but it's a tricky thing because it's so. I don't know if it would be subjective in the pronunciation. I will say I'm a $10 Patreon member, and the Stacey Howard RB3 match just dropped, and there's a very similar incident that happens that I won't spoil, but it involves a character's name and deciding to go to multiple choice because that person did not specifically know how to say the name right. And I think that, yeah, do you play it safe or do you just go for it? I mean, in big matches like the JT Roca match, you want to go big or go home. And unfortunately, JT went home because, he got the name wrong. But I don't know. When Arnian slays your strength, I feel like you don't want to play it safe.
For sure. So with that, guys, that covers Jack of all Trivia, and that covers the Schmodown. We do have a couple of questions from the cool kids in the chat. Our first question today comes from Paul Oyama, and his question is, what competitors do you think could contend for a Jack of all Trivia title in a division that they have not played in yet? Mark, I want to go to you first.
Well, I guess since I'm a part of the Cycle Club, I can't vote for myself. So, but like I said, like Sean said, I wouldn't mind seeing Grant or Sean in TV. But also, has Sean competed in music yet?
Sean? Oh yeah.
Oh, he has done music.
Yeah, he has done music.
Oh, okay. So, as a musician, I thought that would be there for him.
No, he beat Russell in a really close match, like one of the first ones that we had.
Okay, my bad. Then
no worries.
Really thinking, because like a lot of people are active in a lot of a lot of the divisions, so
yeah.
So it's hard to separate who hasn't competed in a separate division yet. So
okay, you think about that. I actually have an answer because I have the music schedule will hopefully be released sometime soon. I'm just waiting for Kane to get a graphic done so it kind of looks pretty and all that. But I do have the upcoming jukebox schedule ahead of me, and actually somebody that I would like to see that I think will do well is actually one of our panelists, Jake Marignoni. I think he'd actually be a pretty good fit in jukebox trivia.
I want to give it a shot. I must say, I love music. It's like my second biggest passion. I don't know how well I'd go with music trivia. I'm just giving it a shot because I'm very curious as to see how well I would go. And I would like to give it a shot. I mean, I might do the worst ever, but I do like music, so it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how you would do, as well as Jessica Morgan. I think she would also be a really good one. We've heard from her in the past that, like myself, she's a huge Weird Al fan, and I know she's very present in the 90s and like the early 2000s kind of stuff. So I think that she would also fare out pretty good. But yeah, Jake, I pass it over to you. What person who has to compete in the division would make a pretty good run?
It's tricky because I'm trying to think of alpha members just because that's always where I lean towards as far as Jack of all Trivia competitors. But I don't know, there's a lot of people who've already competed in multiple leagues that it's hard to kind of think of that one person who just hasn't done something like that. Like I was originally thinking of myself in jukebox, but I mean, I don't know. Has Jim tried jukebox? I think he has. Right?
Yeah. Jim is one of the 3 people that has completed the cycle.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I think Robert would be interesting in jukebox.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Robert, I'm kind of curious to see what he would do in wrestling.
I know. I saw that there.
He's in. He's. I think he's going up against. Is it Jim? Who is he going up against in?
He's going up. I think he's going up against Malcolm or Ryan. I think Ryan.
Because both of them. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean,
Robert was talking about that period that he watched it, that he knows really well, and Ryan's a massive WCW fan, so
Yeah, that'll be a very interesting match. I don't know. I think Robert would be. I think I'm just trying to think of because as far as the Outer Alliance, probably Jukebox is the one league we have not kind of leached our way into, so to speak. So I think I'm kind of starting that trend, and maybe Robert would want to see how well he goes. And I think, yeah, but like Ryan would be interesting, and I don't know. Chance is he's got 2 belts, so see how he goes.
Chance got beat by Haven, so.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, that was a nail biter. Haven banked his 6-point question on a Meatloaf song. Yeah. Oh,
what was the Meatloaf song?
The Meatloaf song. So the question was, in Paradise by the Dashboard Light, when they're going over the baseball like play-by-play thing, how does Meatloaf get to third base?
Oh wow, I wouldn't know that. What was it?
He stole third base. Yeah,
and that's wow. So isn't Haven like 2-0 in Jukebox or 2-1?
He is 2-0 in Jukebox. He beat Chance in a really close match, and then he obliterated Kane. But Kane is the first one to admit that music is not his strength. He's going up in the season 2 premiere against Nico in what's gonna be interesting. We'll just say that. So our next question, guys, comes from the Hunter Ryan Permisson, and his question is with Ready Player One. What is our favorite Spielberg film? Mark, I'm going to let you go first.
I'm sorry. I glanced at the chat there. I missed a question there. My bad.
Okay. With Ready Player One coming up this weekend, what is your favorite Spielberg movie? I have just because like former military, like I am a fan of Saving Private Ryan, but I probably have to go with Jurassic Park. Yeah,
I was a little kid. I think I was 5 at the time when it came out, and I've always loved it. I'm dinosaur. It's a good movie about dinosaurs, and a lot of people crap on the sequels. The only one that I really, really hate, and I won't watch is number 3, Lost World. Like Lost World, I find a lot of entertainment in Lost World, and Jurassic World, but the first Jurassic Park film, I can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah, Jake, your thoughts?
I mean, Spielberg's not exactly a favorite director of mine. It may sound controversial to say he's not even my favorite director. His first name's Steven. Soderbergh has a lot of priority on my list of faves. I'd probably have to go with Raiders, just because that's like the quintessential action film from 1981. It's a brilliant action film starring Harrison Ford, and it's one of his best performances and one of his most memorable characters. And everything about that film is just so memorable, from like the idol and all the boulder and the whole Lost Ark and all that sort of stuff. It's great, and it's a fun film. I do like that. Schindler's List is just a film I've never seen. I wish to, but it's a 3-hour film. It just seems like I would want to just be so depressed after watching that film just because of the subject matter. But then I like Minority Report. I recently saw Ready Player One. I saw that yesterday with my brother, and he really loved it, and I thought it was pretty good. There's some good stuff in it that, as a film fan, that I enjoyed. But I would say that, yeah, probably Raiders or The Lost Ark. But yeah, I think, yeah, that's I do like Duel and Jaws. And not a lot of people talk about Duel, and I really like that film, and Jaws is just obvious choice. But yeah, those 3 would probably be my favorite Spielberg films.
Yeah. For me, I probably have to go with Catch Me If You Can. I really like Tom Hanks and Leo DiCaprio in that film. Like a great film about the conning and like just this race. And I found that very, very interesting, and I found it kind of spoke with me. Schindler's List is another one that I haven't watched yet, but it's definitely on my list of things to watch. But yeah, like Mark said, it was Saving Private Ryan. Like you can't. It gets a lot of shit, and I don't understand why. Is Hook? I think that is a good film and gets more shit than it needs to. But then again,
fine film. It's not like I hate it when people say that's one of his best films. It's like, really? There's a lot of flaws in it. It's just it's a fine like schoolwork film. Well,
So then we have another question from Ryan. We'll do this one, and then I have one for you guys, and then we'll call it a day. His question is favorite video game that you want to see made into a movie and why. Jake, we'll go with you first.
Oh God, can I pass? Can I have a little more time to think?
Yeah, for sure. I would argue for a Halo movie, but I think we've already kind of seen that in Forward Unto Dawn. I would also. Mark, any ideas that you have? Give me a couple of minutes to kind of think of something here. And
you could go with the standard, like actually make a good Super Mario Brothers movie, but a good video game to be made into a movie. It's always so hit and miss, just because like it's always completely hard to do it. Like, but maybe if you can create some sort of maybe possible franchise, like they're making an Uncharted one, so that's off the board. Maybe if you can do a franchise with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
But it's all those games are already so heavily movie themed and a bunch of scenarios that they've always do. So that's always takes it away. It's always video games. It's tough. It's really tough.
Absolutely. For sure. Jake, you have any more time to kind of think about this?
I've got two, and one would be just my fantasy, and that just unrealistically wouldn't be a film, or just realistically just wouldn't work into a film. And that'd be Crash Bandicoot. I'm a big Crash Bandicoot fan.
Oh,
I love the games. They're so much fun. It's some of my favorite memories as a child. But I just cannot see that working as a film. Just the way that the plot just doesn't work. Maybe Twinsanity, but there's just so much shit that you have to know about the whole franchise and all that stuff. But I just don't think that would work as a film. But my second choice would probably, I've never even played the game. I just know that the story would work as a film, and that would be The Last of Us, because it's got those characters, it's got those arcs, and it's got the story and the world itself. That would definitely work as a film, and that's been in like development hell since the game came out, because I know Sam Raimi was going to direct it and he was working on it. And then I don't know if that's still in development and shit's going on, but yeah, I think that would work as a good film. But yeah, it's just getting that world and creating it.
Yeah,
tricky.
I just thought of a great game that should be made into a movie. Probably one of the greatest games of all time. Superman 64.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, it's actually good. Superman Fall of Crystal Peace.
Yeah. I would actually, in terms of like an unrealistic one, I know that'll never get made. Castle Knights. It was a really good side-scrolling beat 'em up RPG. I thought it was super fun, and I think it'd be a nice kind of like just a very like a B action film with some medieval kind of storylines and that whatnot. But in terms of a realistic one, I would actually have to go with The Wolf Among Us. It was a Telltale game, but it has very fairy tale heavy influences. I haven't played the game myself, but I know Jeremy Johns he reviewed it a while ago, and I think he gave it some praise. So I think that might be kind of the next one to possibly go about. But yeah, I have to echo with like Uncharted and The Last of Us would be good ones. So the last question that I had for you guys today.
I was going to say two more games. Sorry, two more games just quickly. I think Medieval would be a good one, because that's got a good story, and I think that would work as a film. And then Castlevania also. I think just the world and all that. But that'd be really hard to do as well.
Talking about Nintendo games, Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid would work.
I think you have potential to do it to a really cool origin story, because like Samus is one of those characters that like nobody really kind of knows about.
Yeah.
Doesn't talk or anything. Like they kind of explore her backstory, I believe, in the Other M.
Other M. Yes, they did, and a lot of people didn't like that. Yeah.
But yeah. So the question I have for you guys, with this being Easter weekend, we get all the kind of things, or if we don't celebrate Easter, like the question I'm trying to get to is like family dinners and like big meals. So like maybe it isn't Easter, maybe it's like Christmas or Fourth of July, or what day? I feel really bad, Jake. But what day is like the Australian? I feel really bad. Yeah,
You said it right.
Australian Day. Does anyone know?
I'm really sorry. I feel awful.
I'll give you a life points if you figure out Australia Day. Does anyone know? No.
Isn't it?
I think it's something.
We all know 4th of July. Come on, you should know us.
Is it okay? I have a bad guess. Is it like early February or early January?
Yeah, you're in the area. Yeah.
I was going to say August. My bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like early. I'm pretty sure it's like late January, early February.
Yeah, it's the 26th of January.
Okay.
Jake, when's Canada Day?
Oh God, is it February the 3rd?
Nope.
It's July 1st.
July 1st. Only 3 days before Independence Day.
So anyways, the question I have for you guys is, with the big meals, what is your go-to family meal that you just like, if you could lay it out perfectly, what is the best family meal that you could have? I'll go first, and I think like for Easter for us, we'll be having ham and chicken. With like, of course, like you get like mashed potatoes, carrots, stuffing, get the gravy and all that kind of stuff. What was that?
You gonna eat Caleb?
Yeah, it's kind of a new addition into our diet, but like he's a good source of protein. I'm sure he'll be nice and tender. But yeah, like you can't go wrong with that. Or even like if for Christmas for me, a roast turkey dinner, you can't go wrong with stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. For dessert, you have to go apple crisp or a coconut cream pie or like a nice lemon tarts. Mark, you're a little more to the west of me, but what is the typical family meal over in London?
I don't really care as long as it includes pumpkin pie and whipped cream. Love me some pumpkin pie.
Simple.
Cool. And and Jake, over to you.
Well, I don't know how well Australia celebrates Easter. I mean, it depends, but
yeah,
we just enjoy the day off. Really, I mean, that's what we get out of it. But I would say definitely like Christmas or Australia Day, we'll do something big. Like it'll be just like as cliched as it is, we'll have like, I wouldn't say shrimp on the barbie, but we'll definitely have the barbie out, and we'll get sausages and just bacon and eggs, and it'll be like a bacon and egg, just like a giant. So
essentially like a brunch.
Like a brunch, essentially. Yeah, we sleep in a lot, and it'd be like just sausages, and we'd have it in wraps and all that sort of stuff, and we'd probably have sometimes steak. It depends, and it would be just like a big meal. We love to have big meals and during breakfast, and then just nothing during dinner.
Yeah,
just leftovers, really.
Yeah. All right, guys. So with that being said, we are coming up to, I believe, the hour and 45-minute mark. We are an hour 42, I think, which is pretty good.
What's the time over in everyone? Just want to know, because
so right now it is almost 10 to 6.
I've got 4:48.
Yeah, I have 5:48 here.
PM?
Yep. Yeah, it's PM.
For me, it's 4:48 AM.
Oh, so you're directly 12 hours ahead.
So you're almost waking up, like.
Well, I feel like I should be asleep right now. I haven't gone to sleep since 9:30 yesterday.
Oh shit!
In the morning. So I've had a long day today. I had worked from 1:30 to 12 at night. So big day today, and everything's just been happening. So glad to be home. Well,
for sure. So I want to thank Luca and Sean. They left us a little bit earlier. I want to thank them for coming on, as well as for Mark and Jake. Mark, we're going to go get to the road find you.
Before I get to that, there's a couple of things that I wanted to say. Recently, there was someone who didn't ask me anything and wants to call me out. We both hit the cycle, but he wants to challenge me to 5 matches in each one match in each division. We are 1-1. The Wolf, Jim Green. I'll accept. I'll destroy you. You got lucky in IG. I've already beaten you twice in wrestling. Movies, music, and TV, I'll destroy you, buddy. If you've seen any of my matches, Jim, it's on, and also King Caleb. We are finally going to meet in a triple threat match. Unfortunately, RJ's got to be a part of it. I've wanted to add some stipulations, but you ran away. You're all cocky. You're all arrogant when nothing's at stake when you lose. Win, I say win, because it's not if, it's an always win. You're never going to win. But you don't want to do anything at stake? Guess what? Whatever. I find after almost close to a year of hoping to get a match against you, I'm finally going to get you in the ring.
Yeah.
When we do that IG match, you're going down.
Yeah.
No question asked.
Awesome. I cannot speak for movie and television, but in terms of music, your guys' match is already slated for a particular day, so I'm very excited to see that match happen.
Outside that promo, I do want to hype up later on tonight. Unfortunately, we're doing it live a bit later, just scheduling conflicts. But at midnight Eastern, we will be doing the Full Metal Trivia Championship match between Jessica Morgan, the Vicious Trollop, taking on Brian Fernandez, no longer the Purger. I almost called him the Purger there.
Yeah,
And that'll be going up at midnight, so it's roughly about 5 now, so about 6 hours from now.
Yeah,
6-7 hours from now.
And of course the Maestro, Jake Marignoni. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Pretentious Hack, in the HX caps. I'm also on Facebook at Jack Marangoni. If you want to be friends with me, we can be friends if you want to and talk about movies and life and existential crisis and stuff. Thank you so much, Brooklyn and Mark, for letting me be on the Weekend Rewind today. This was a lot of fun. It was early in the morning, and I had a good excuse to be on here today. This is great, and thank you so much for allowing me to be on Jack World Trivia. Also, Caleb and Kane and Haven and all of you fine people, and Tim, of course. It's great to just have fun and we love movies and we love trivia, and it's always fun to do this sort of stuff. So yeah, also my triple threat match against Haven. We will be fighting each other very, very soon. Triple threat match against me, Haven, and Jeff. It's going to be a glorious match. I may come out of that match at 1-1 or 0-2. I hope not, but we'll see. We'll be recording that very, very soon, and I can't wait for that.
For sure. And lastly, I am the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale. Thanks to everybody for tuning in today. It was a great rewind. We had a great panel. A lot of matches to talk about, but we got through them in a succinct amount of time. For anybody who's watching us for the first time, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to get into one of these matches, or if you want to get on the show, follow us on Facebook. All of our social media stuff is in the description right down here. So we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to get on a match, just let us know, and we'll try to get you in as soon as possible. I know that there are schedules being brought up for music, movies, Intergeekdom, and maybe TV. We fortunately haven't heard from Tim in the last little bit. But once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to go every Saturday live, of course. And once again, thank you for being a part of this channel. We wouldn't be anything without you guys. Peace out, and as always, drive safely.